Welcome, guys. Happy Friday. Today, I'm probably just going to go right into what I want to share for today because right after this live, I have to be on the road. So it's not going to be a super long live, but welcome. My name is Stephanie Kerr. Welcome, Amina. So good to see you. I hope you and your family are doing well. Yes, so my name is Stephanie Kerr. I'm an author, I'm a content creator, and this particular live, I just want to share just some things that I'm learning right now. So good to see you too. Just some things that I'm learning right now. So last week was the first, I guess we'll call it an episode of Seasons with Stef. And I actually wrote down some notes of things I wanted to share. And as I was getting ready, I thought to myself, you know what? That's actually not what I want to share. So I just scrapped my notes completely. I just want to talk from the heart today. And this is more so if somebody were to ask me, Stephanie, what are you learning right now? Or just what are you experiencing right now in life? This would more so be my answer. So there's two things that I want to talk about today. And the first thing that I guess I could say I'm learning in this season / navigating, going through in this season is understanding the life cycle of friendships. And over my life, I've just had so many different types of friendships. I've had so many different friendship has just been a very, very interesting topic. And this particular season of my life, what I'm understanding is that when you go your separate ways or when you just grow apart from somebody, it doesn't have to be animosity. It doesn't have to be any love lost. It just simply is what it is. And I'm just at a place where I embrace it, I accept it, and I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay. So Mina said here, oh my god, this is so weird. I was in the middle of a misunderstanding with a friend. Yeah, and I think that friendship is something that we don't talk enough about. I think there's so many other types of relationships that we give so much more just attention to, but when it comes to friendships, for whatever reason, I found, welcome Jazz, I've just found that we don't talk enough about how to maintain friendships, how to understand that people are going to change. I know that when it comes to marriage, one thing that I've heard people say all the time is that when you do get married to someone, whoever that person is at that point in time, they're going to change. And I heard somebody say that as his wife passed away, or after his wife passed away, he was able to, I guess, look back and say, it feels like I've been married to 8 different women over the time that we were married. And it's the same with friendships. When you partner with somebody to do life together as a friend, let's say you guys meet when you're 20. When you're 35, hopefully you're not the same version. You're not still the same version that you were at 20. Now at 35. Maybe at 35 you have some kids now. Maybe at 35 you have a parent that you're taking care of. Your time availability is going to change. Your interests have probably changed since the time you were 20. And just appreciating the fact that even in friendships, we have to give grace for people to grow and give grace for ourselves to grow, and to recognize that it doesn't have to be animosity if now we're at a place where we're just on separate journeys. And it doesn't even mean that we're going in, let's say we're working towards success, whatever success looks like for us. But perhaps you actually just need to focus on what you're doing, and I need to focus on what I'm doing. And perhaps our friendship wasn't cultivating an environment where we could both get there as we really need to get there. So that's one thing that I'm learning right now, that friendships are certainly going to change over the years, and that's okay. I don't have to be trying to hold on to what we once were or trying to recreate what we once had, especially when we're now 2 different people. I can actually just learn to accept that I am who I am now, you are who you are now, and perhaps this season isn't for us to walk together, but it doesn't have to be any animosity. It doesn't have to be any love lost. And there's actually something that I believe her name is Christine Kane. I just saw like a reel of her yesterday. And in the reel, she said, in the Bible, there are about 170 women who are either referenced or alluded to. 170. But there's only one woman who we're told to remember, and that woman is Lot's wife. Now, for those of you who don't know the story of Lot's wife, Lot and his wife were told to leave a certain place. They were told to look forward to something in the future. Welcome, Jim. Yeah, they were told to look forward to something in the future. And she was just so enamored by what she was leaving behind. She was so in love with the place that she used to be, with the mindset that she used to live with the people who she used to be around, that she looked back. And immediately she became a pillar of salt. And that's the only woman who we're told to remember. And I thought that is so interesting. And as I heard Christine Kane say that yesterday, I thought to myself, you know what, Stephanie? It is really important that when seasons are transitioning, you're not trying to hold on to what you're supposed to release. Welcome, Ryan. Yeah, that you are not so just bent on holding on to what has expired that you won't give yourself the ability to embrace what is coming for you or what is supposed to be in your future. And even as I say that, I just think about even food. When it's expired and you eat it, you're going to get sick. Like, that's what happens. As much as you may love the cucumber, if the cucumber is like, it started to go bad, you probably shouldn't eat it. And it's the same way with friendships. If the friendship, whatever it used to be, whatever purpose it used to serve, if it's expired, then it's just better you release it gracefully. Thank the person, thank God for making room and space in your heart and in your mind and in your life for what is supposed to be with you in this season. So those are just some thoughts that I had about friendship. And like I said, my notes, I just completely threw them out today. And I was just like, you know what? This is a more authentic answer about what I'm learning in this season. And again, this morning, as I was thinking about the topic of friendship, the very last thing that came to my mind that I wanted to just share quickly is about Saul and Samuel. Now, again, if you don't know the story of Samuel and Saul, Saul was a king in Israel, and Samuel was a prophet in Israel. And God selected Saul to be king for a period of time. But there came a point in time when God decided, you know what? I've moved on. I've moved on. I don't still desire Saul to be in that position of king. However, Samuel, who had been a prophet to Saul for the period of time that he had been there, was just, again, he didn't want to let go. He didn't want to move forward into what God was doing. And so God literally came to him. I believe it's 1 Samuel 16. He comes to him and says, okay, how long are you going to keep crying over what I've rejected? It's time for you to move on. It's time for you to accept that during that time period, he was who I had in place. Welcome, Francis. He was who I had in place, but for right now, it's time for you to move on. And that's okay. It's perfectly okay. And the last thing I will say too, just about friendships, is sometimes people can be in your life and for whatever reason, for a season, you guys are disconnected, but then you guys come back together. Like, that's possible too. It doesn't have to always be like you just throw the person away and you never talk to them again and, you know, you don't like them. That's not what it has to be either. You can just gracefully accept that that season, that proximity is over and now it's something new. And my coach said it so beautifully when I was on a call, a coach who I used to have, so beautifully when I was called. And she said, you know, just thank the person for making space when things don't necessarily continue as you thought they would continue. So those are just my thoughts on friendship. And the second thing that is really prominent right now that God is teaching me, a lesson that I'm learning, is that provision is everywhere. Okay, just looking at the time because, like I said, I got to make this to the point today. But provision is everywhere. I can't tell you guys how many times over the past maybe 2-3 months I have just been in a space of, I guess, receptivity. That's the word. Receptivity, where I'm able to receive. And just out of what I consider to be nowhere, but obviously it's what God is orchestrating for me and in my life, people just offer me. access to different spaces and rooms that either I thought I couldn't have access to, or I never even thought about having access to. And they just come and they're just like, hey, God placed it on my heart to give you this. Hey, I want you to be in this room. Hey, I want you to have access to this. And so for anybody who's feeling like they don't know how certain doors are going to open up for them, just trust that God will do the work for you. All you have to do is be ready when the opportunity presents itself. That's it. All you have to do is show up to receive whatever you're supposed to receive in that moment. But don't worry about how the provision is going to happen. Don't worry about how the door is going to open. Just be ready to receive whatever it is God has for you in this moment. So those are just two things that I am learning in this season. And the first one, for those who might join in the next couple seconds, the first thing is that seasons apply to friendships as well. And you're not always going to be in the same season with a particular person. That's okay. It's perfectly fine. Let's say you decide to walk away, they decide to walk away. Mutually, you guys decide that, you know what, we're just on two different journeys. It's just, I guess, a best practice to just be okay with that and flow like water. Be flexible, be fluid to the fact that things have changed, and it doesn't have to be animosity. It doesn't have to be any love lost. It could just be, okay, it is what it is. And secondly, provision is everywhere. I have been blown away, truly blown away by the amount of people that God has sent over the past few months to just bless me in different ways that I was not expecting, that I was not anticipating. But one thing God said to me yesterday was, didn't I say I was going to provide for you? Didn't I say I was going to make sure that everything got taken care of? And I was just like, yeah, you did. And you absolutely have been. So I hope that these two, I guess, just pieces of my journey that I'm sharing with you guys are able to bless you guys and just help you to know that whatever season you happen to be in, there's probably somebody else going through something similar. But I hope you guys have an amazing Friday and a beautiful start to your weekend. And I hope to see you guys next week, Friday. Take care.